I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be her lover, not her therapist. Well, one thing that's really important, especially if you're in a long-distance relationship and the girl that you're dating or that you're talking to and you only see her like every couple of months or whatever, the thing you got to remember is that when you're talking to her, you should make sure that she's doing 70 to 80% of the reaching out to you. You should have plans made where like she's going to fly out to see you or you're going to fly out to see her a few weeks, few months in advance. And then in the meantime, you really shouldn't, because your tickets are purchased, you shouldn't need to be talking to one another. And then if she wants to talk, let her reach out to you. And at the very least, you call her at least once a week and you talk and video Skype and you chat. But the idea is, just like in show business, if you ever notice, like every TV show or movie, it's like all throughout the movie, all throughout the show, especially like with TV shows, in between the commercials, it's like there's always a cliffhanger. Some emotionally charged moment happens, and then right as they're about to reveal what the response is, a commercial break. And so you're like on the edge of your seat, and it leaves you hanging. Why? Because so you'll sit there and you'll watch the fucking commercial. And their advertiser will get value. That's why they have the cliffhangers in there, because that's what keeps you interested. That's what keeps you coming back for more. It's like an old adage in show business. You always leave them wanting more. And so when you're talking to a girl, always be the one to lead the conversation. But if you sit there and you just talk to her and talk to her and talk to her for hours and hours and hours, and and after about like an hour or two, you're just going like catatonic, and you don't really want to fucking listen to her anymore, or you're getting kind of bored. Or you're just thinking, she's getting a little, she's not as interested, because the idea, when she gets too familiar with you and too comfortable, because remember, it's a scientific fact that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. And so if you're just sitting there for 2 or 3 hours every day, listening to her drone on and talk about whatever, she's become very familiar with you. And so when that does happen, women are like cats. When they become bored, they go off and they roam the fucking neighborhood. If you've ever had a cat before, or had a friend that had a cat, and they have little doors, like an outdoor cat, the cats come around, they're hanging out, they eat, and then they fucking leave and they go roam the neighborhood. You might not see them for 3 or 4 days, and then they come back. Or they're in and out all day long, and they're always roaming the neighborhood, and they come back, and at night they're at the house. I mean, it's just, you got to let them come and go as they please. And women are the same way. You got to let them come and go as they please. When they run off, you got to let them go, and they'll come back when they come back. Just go on about your life and your purpose and your business. But like I said, always leave them wanting more. It's so, so important, because that keeps them coming back. That keeps them chasing you. And if a girl's chasing you, she won't dump you when she's chasing you. It's the best fucking place to be. And if the girl you're with is not doing 70 to 80% of the calling, texting, and pursuing, then it means you're doing too much of it, and you need to back off. And the fallback position is just call her once a week, because you obviously can't see her in person. So in essence, it's like at least talking once a week, if you haven't heard from her on Skype, is the closest thing that you can get to a date in between the time that you see each other. And so in between the time that you're not talking, she's going to be wondering about you, thinking about you. And when she can't take it anymore, and she's like, if the tension builds up with inside of her, she's got to reach out. Oh, I was thinking about you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you. Because she's got to wonder about her feelings. When she's got to wonder about you, what you're up to, what you're doing, when you're not talking, when you're not communicating. They fall in love slowly over time with you. So I get an email here from a viewer, and he says, "Hi, Corey. The material you have and the stuff you put out every week is very welcome and very good. I've read your book 4 times now, and I keep referring to it all the time. And thank you for such good material and sharing it. I'm 46, and one of the girls that I'm dating is 21. I live in the UK, and this particular girl lives in Sweden. And there's been no mention of a relationship from her side, and of course neither from my side, because as you say, that's the woman's department. Yep, there's no reason to bring it up. If she ain't bringing it up, it means she ain't feeling it. That's something that a woman brings up, and she brings it up when she's unsure of herself. But if you're bringing it up and talking about it and trying to move her to that place, then she's not really going to be unsure, because she needs to feel what it feels like to have you or to not have you. Do I want to be with them more? Do I want to be with them less? When they're by themselves or with their girlfriends, that's what they're feeling, and they're getting into their emotions, and they're feeling how they feel about you, because they're emotional beings. They're driven by their emotions. Us guys, we're logic driven, and we're like, hey, she's got a great ass. I want her. I'm in love with her. I want to have kids with her. I mean, guys just pretty much think that way. We see her, we like her, we're visual creatures. Boom, I'm in. But with a woman, they fall in love slowly over time. So you got to let it happen. Always keep them wanting more, just like in every TV show and every movie. That's what keeps you coming back for all the sequels, or sticking around to wait to see what happens after the commercials run. He says, I concentrate on making definite dates, and so far we have had 3 successful ones, and I have another one booked for this coming November. Yeah, I mean, it's great. In Europe, you're probably only a couple hours away by plane or by train, and I mean, that's great. So good job with that. Making definite dates. You said the key word. Very smart. Because you can't have a relationship with somebody over the phone. If you're not getting together in person, you can't get her to fall for you. He says, the thing is, she began to open up to me emotionally. She cried a little bit, and then I read an article of yours which said for me to encourage her to let it rip and let it all out. So the second time she had an emotional outburst, and I encouraged it, and she went for it, telling me all sorts of stuff about her life. And then he says, and I didn't hear from her for a couple of days. And then the other day she went to a funeral. She contacted me after it, and again she let it rip, crying and telling me all sorts of stuff about her life. See, what's happening is you're becoming her rock, her mountain, her source of emotional masculine strength in her life. Because when she was a little girl, she used to go sit in Daddy's lap and cry and talk to him about things that she was upset or fearful about. And Daddy would just sit there listening, what else, baby? Tell me more. Oh, the boy at school was mean to you. Oh, we put a lizard in your hair. We put a cockroach in your hair. You didn't like that. Oh, and what did he say? Oh, well, you know why that boy was saying that at school? And she's like, why? It's like, because he likes you. And that's how his way is showing it. He's being playful with you. And, oh, okay. And then she kind of gets it, and then she hops up off your lap, and then she's all right as rain, running around the house like nothing ever happened. Well, when women grow up and they become adults, the man who becomes their lover in their life, also, if you open them up emotionally and they continually talk about that, then every time they want to emotionally connect, they're going to reach out to you. And then when you're talking to them, you always use sexual innuendo and make sure you keep it playful and fun. And when she starts crying, you just say, I think you're so fucking sexy when you cry. And I think it's so beautiful. And I'm honored that you love me and you appreciate me enough to where you just let it rip and you feel comfortable. She's like, oh, I feel so comfortable with you. It's like I feel so close to you. I'm going to feel more close to you than any man I've ever been with, and blah, blah. And that's the way it should be. But the idea is that after you talked and she's like, I feel so much better. Like, oh, baby, you look so sexy. And I'm just going to fucking go to town when you get here. We're going to fuck each other's brains out when you arrive, or when you pick me up at the airport, whatever it happens to be. And I can't wait to see you again. But, hey, baby, I got to run. I got stuff I got to take care of, so I will talk to you later. And that's it. I'll see you later. It's like, I can't wait to see you on the 4th or the 5th or the 18th, whenever it is you guys are going to see each other next. And then you get off the phone. Make sure that you're the guy that ends the conversation. That's the best way to do it. Because she still kind of wanted to talk, and so it's like you leave a little bit of the tension there, and you go on about your life and your purpose and your business and your careers and your goals and your dreams and your ambitions in life. And then a few days later or a few hours later, she'll come back. And the reason that she doesn't talk to you, she doesn't call you for a few days, is because all the tension's relieved and she got familiar with you and she got a little bored. And she pulls away because she feels opened up. She feels complete. And then you just let her go off. Then she feels real comfortable and she knows that you love her and you care about her. But she's not missing you yet. And that's why you don't hear from her for 2 or 3 days. And then 2 or 3 days go by. And all of a sudden she's calling you going, hey, baby, I haven't heard from you. I've been thinking about you. That's what you just need to do. If you got a definite date set and you've seen this girl this number of times, you probably don't even need to call her at all. You're just simply responding to her initiated contact. And that's the best way to be. You don't have to do nothing. You just talk every now and then when she wants to talk. But make sure that you end the conversation. It's really awesome. That's how you remain mysterious. That's how you keep her wanting you more. And I think that was what your question was. So he says, I just listened and I did the tell me more, don't leave anything out thing. And she feels really comfortable and safe with me, but she didn't contact me for a couple of days again. The thing is, she's not my girlfriend. I feel weird having to listen to all this stuff. And the week before I blew her out, politely of course, and she wouldn't get off the phone telling me how I turn her on and she wants me. Yeah, because you left her wanting more in that particular conversation. You need to do that all the time. See, when you sit there and you listen for like 2 or 3 hours, you're like becoming her therapist, and you deflate all the sexual tension. That's why it takes a few days for it to build back up. I mean, you are seeing exactly what I talk about in that cake analogy. It's like opening the oven, and it's like you're worried about her going off. It's like, no, it's perfect. Just let her go off and do her thing. And then you don't have to talk to her for a few days. And so when you do hear from her 3 days later, you're actually a little bit more excited yourself to even talk to her and hear from her. But like I said, the problem that you're running into where it bothers you at times is you're talking to her and you're listening to her longer than you really want to because you feel obligated to. So whenever you get to the point where you don't feel like you want to listen anymore and it's like you're doing it out of obligation, then it's time to leave her wanting more and say, baby, I'll have to, we'll talk later in the week, sweetheart, but I got to go. I adore you. I love you, but you're my princess. I can't wait to see you again, but I got to go. Call me later. And just say that and then get off the phone. And call me later in the week. Say that to her. Leave her one, or she may call you later that night when you tell her call her later in the week. It's just you're communicating that you adore her and you love her, but you got to go. You got shit to take care of. You're a man. You got to handle shit. And so he says, I feel like a bit of a nice guy listening to her open up emotionally. And when she really isn't my girlfriend, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on is she's falling more and more into you, and you are becoming her rock, her mountain, her source of strength. And as women fall more in love with you, guess what? They want more and more of your attention and more of your time. So pat yourself in the fucking back, dude. You're doing a great job. The only critique I have for you is just you got to always make sure you're leaving her wanting more. And if you do that, she'll call you and she'll pursue you more. That's what you want. Because then it gets to the point where they'll be asking you to be their boyfriend and if they can be your girlfriend, they'll bring it up. But just keep doing what you're doing. Until they bring it up, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great, man. Good fucking job. I'm proud of you. So if you have a question that you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen, send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, and then just give me several days to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which is at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, which I highly recommend, go to my website, and on the right-hand side underneath the email sign-up box, there's a box that has a link that will take you right to the download page. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, down on the right-hand side there's a button you can click to download a free e-reader app for your smartphone, tablet device, or your computer. It only takes a matter of seconds to download and install the app and complete the purchase of my book. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters, you can go to my website, and on the Webby toolbar at the bottom of your screen, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.